Chapter 1, Driver's Desk Slide 1, Title Page. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this training session on driver operation. This program is organized by the Rail Operation Department. Today we will cover the fifth section of practical operations, focusing on the equipment and the driver's responsibilities. By the end of this session, you'll have a solid understanding of the driver's desk, the cab control cabinet, and their related safety functions. Let's begin our learning journey. Slide 2, Catalog. Here is an overview of today's contents. We will start with Chapter 1, the driver's desk, where we will study the structure and the functions of each panel. Then, in Chapter 2, we will move on to the cab control cabinet, which includes the bypass switches and other backup functions. This order will help us build knowledge from the main controls to supporting systems. Slide 3, driver's desk, front facade layout. This is the vertical layout of the driver's desk. From left to right, we see the vertical control panel, the wireless control panel, the signal display screen, the HMI display screen, the signal monitoring touchscreen, and finally the vertical indicator board. Each of these components has a specific role. For example, the HMI screen provides operational data, while the monitoring touchscreen helps supervise signal status. It is important for a driver to be able to locate and operate these panels quickly. Slide 4, driver's desk, top view layout. Here we see the flat surface of the desk. From left to right, there is the left side door control panel, the broadcast control box, the flat rotary button panel, the driver controller, and the right side door control panel. This layout ensures that all critical passenger-related controls are within easy reach. In practice, the driver must be able to coordinate announcements, open or close doors, and operate the main controller simultaneously. Slide 5, driver's desk, lower section layout. Under the desk, we find several important components. On the left side sits the radio main unit, followed by connectors and spring terminals. In the middle, there is a foot switch, which is linked to the vigilance function. A storage box is provided for tools or documents, and finally, on the right side cabinet, there is a wiper water tank. These components are not used continuously, but drivers should know their positions for troubleshooting and maintenance. Slide 6, driver's desk, additional items. In addition to the main panels, the driver's desk also includes supporting items. For example, there is a reading lamp for night work, a socket for power supply, a first aid kit for emergencies, and the radio host adapter. These may seem minor compared to the main controller, but in daily operation they ensure safety, comfort, and preparedness. Slide 7, left side vertical control panel. Now, let's focus on the left side vertical control panel. This area groups a series of switches and displays that the driver uses frequently. Understanding the layout is essential because these controls often deal with communication, signaling, and system activation. Slide 8 to 11, left side vertical control panel, continued. These slides further illustrate the left side vertical control panel. Notice that the controls are arranged logically so that related functions are close together. This reduces reaction time during operation. For example, communication systems are placed near signaling devices, allowing the driver to quickly handle train-to-control center communication while monitoring signals. Slide 12 to 17, right side vertical control panel. Here we turn to the right side vertical control panel. Like the left side, it houses switches, displays, and indicators. These controls are designed to be symmetrical, giving the driver intuitive access regardless of which side of the desk they are facing. Both sides work together to ensure efficient control. Slide 18 to 23, flat rotary button panel. This is the flat rotary button panel. Each rotary button allows for multiple positions, controlling specific systems such as lights, wipers, or auxiliary devices. The advantage of rotary buttons is that they are easy to identify by touch, allowing the driver to keep eyes on the track while operating them. Slide 24 to 25, left side door control panel. Here we see the left side door control panel. This panel is dedicated to opening and closing passenger doors on the left side of the train. It ensures that doors can be controlled safely at stations. The design is simple, but the responsibility is huge. Drivers must double-check that doors are closed before departure. Slide 26, broadcast control box. This is the broadcast control box. It is used to make announcements to passengers, either live or pre-recorded. Clear communication is critical for passenger safety, especially in emergencies. Drivers should practice speaking calmly and clearly through this system. Slide 27, driver's controller. Now we arrive at the most important component, the driver's controller. It manages 4 key functions: activating the cab with a key, setting the train's direction, controlling traction and braking, and ensuring vigilance. These are the core tasks of train driving, and mastering this controller is essential for safe operation. Slide 28, controller interlocking function. The driver's controller has an interlocking function for safety. The key must be turned to the on position before the direction lever can move. The main lever can only operate when the direction lever is not at 0. Similarly, the direction lever can only move when the main lever is at 0. Finally, the key can only be removed when the direction lever is at 0. These rules prevent incorrect operation and protect both the driver and the passengers. Slide 29, controller vigilance function. The vigilance function is designed to prevent accidents if the driver falls asleep or faints. The system uses a vigilance switch on the handle and a vigilance foot switch, which are connected in parallel. If neither is pressed within 30 seconds, an alarm will sound, and after 3 seconds, the system applies an emergency brake. Likewise, if either switch is pressed continuously for more than 30 seconds, the same alarm and braking action will occur. This ensures constant awareness. Slide 30, vigilance function alleviation. There are also ways to alleviate the vigilance alarm. If the buzzer sounds because no switch has been pressed for 30 seconds, pressing the handle switch or stepping on the foot switch within 3 seconds will reset the system. On the other hand, if a switch is held down too long, releasing it within 3 seconds after the alarm will also reset the system. In both cases, the goal is to confirm that the driver is alert and able to control the train. Chapter 2, Cab Control Cabinet. Slide 31, Overview. Now, let's move to Chapter 2, the Cab Control Cabinet. This cabinet contains a series of bypass switches. With the exception of the signal door bypass, which is located on the desk, all other bypass switches are found here. Each switch is rotary and covered to prevent accidental use. Slide 32, Door Control Bypass Switch. The first is the Door Control Bypass Switch. This is used to bypass the ADP door protection function. Once activated, the ADP no longer monitors door safety, and the driver takes full responsibility for manually controlling the doors. This switch is only used when the ADP system fails or when the system operates in RM mode. Because of the safety implications, the switch has a protective design to prevent misuse. Slide 33, Brake Non-Release Bypass Switch. The second is the Brake Non-Release Bypass Switch. If the system indicates a brake fault, even though inspection confirms that the air brakes are released, the driver may be unable to issue traction commands. In that case, turning this switch to on allows traction. This ensures the train can continue to move safely after verification. Slide 34, Vigilance Bypass Switch. The third switch is the Vigilance Bypass. If the vigilance circuit itself fails, the driver can cut off the vigilance function by turning this switch on. This is only used in fault situations, as normally the vigilance system is essential for safety. Slide 35, Parking Brake Bypass Switch. The fourth is the Parking Brake Bypass Switch. If the parking brake is in release position but cannot send a release signal, the driver will not be able to command traction. Activating this switch allows traction despite the missing signal, ensuring operations can continue when it is confirmed safe. Slide 36, Emergency brake bypass switch. The fifth and final bypass switch is the emergency brake non-release bypass. Normally, the emergency brake circuit is always energized, and if power is lost, the train stops automatically. But if the circuit loses power due to a component fault, and the fault cannot be repaired quickly, the driver may use this bypass to restore the emergency brake circuit. This allows the train to move, but safety must be carefully considered. The switch bypasses all components except the emergency button and main air pressure switch. Slide 37. Closing slide. This concludes our session on driver's desk equipment and the cab control cabinet. We have seen how each panel, controller, and bypass switch works and why they are critical for train operation. Remember, as a driver, your job is not only to operate the train but also to ensure the safety of every passenger. Thank you for your attention.